Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 12. This will be a review lesson. For that reason, if you have to introduce a new phoneme-grapheme relationship, then you can look back at your core phonics survey, and this would be a great lesson to do that because we have some extra time since we're reviewing here, not introducing new content. Let's get started by setting up our table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, the sight word study method instruction sheet, the card pack on which the student is currently working, some blank cards for introducing a new sight word, the highlighter, some markers, and some pencils for the student. For the short vowel drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet, the keyword pictures, and the keyword sentence. The phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the tiles for the student. Moving on to the visual and auditory drill, you'll need the card pack for the student, and notice that the consonant blends from lesson number 11 are now in the card pack. You're ready for the blending drill with the instruction sheet and the paper letter tiles that are already all arranged, the magnetic letter tile spelling drill and reading drill instruction sheet, the magnetic board with the tiles all arranged in a rainbow shape. You'll need your syllable pounding instruction sheet. We'll be using syllable pounding in every lesson. This would be a great lesson to introduce a new phoneme-grapheme relationship if you need to do so. You can check back at your core phonics survey results to find out if that's needed. Since we're doing a review lesson, you have space right now and time to do it. You'll need the sheets for today's lesson that were attached to the lesson plan. And then we'll be doing a sort. Is it a closed syllable or not? If you feel like the student has mastered that concept, then you don't have to do the sort. Let's start with the sight word study method. Student, you'll take out your card pack of the words on which you're currently working, and I want you to read through each index card. When you get a word correct, you will put a little check mark in the corner of the card. If you have trouble with it, your teacher will give you some blocking strategies. You might do the sight word study method again for that word, or you could highlight certain sections of the word that are the troublemaker sections. And once you're finished, you'll give the card pack to your teacher, and your teacher will read the words to you, and that's your turn to write them down. And remember, you can give a check mark to your card for the other side of the card for each one that you get right then. Teacher, you're keeping track of the time, and you'll have a discussion with the student about which words are mastered. The mastered ones are taken out of the card pack, and if you have time, you can introduce a new sight word. Let's move on to the short vowel drill, so you'll need your keyword pictures for this one. And teacher, you can tell the student how many times they should be doing the keyword pictures at this point. They're tracing it with 2 fingers and saying apple, ah. And then you'll say the keyword sentence and stretch it out, student. We'll move on to the phonemic awareness drill. Student, you can take out your letter tiles, the colored tiles for this one. Do that now. I'm going to tell you your word is bub. Can you repeat that word? Now I'd like you to build that word with your tiles. When you finish, tap each sound, say the sounds, and then underline it and say the whole word. Okay, when you made the word bub, did you use 2 colors or 3 colors? It was a little bit of a trick, wasn't it? Because there's b in that word, it appears twice. So if the same sound is in a word, you're going to use the same colored tile. So I might have done blue, red, blue for that one. The blue comes in twice because there's b twice. Okay, so you have bub. Now I'd like you to take a new tile and call it ol. Put it right after the first b. What do you get now? Tap it and say it. Did you get blub? Like a fish goes blub, blub, blub. Okay, good job. Find the in blub. Can you put your finger on the Change the into ah. To find out your new word, tap it and say it. Did you get blab? If you did, that's right. Now find the final b in blab. not the first one, the one at the end. B, okay? I want you to change that final B into mm. What's the new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get blam? Not a real word. Let's change the first B into a G. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get glam? That's right, part of the word glamorous. Okay, you can put your tiles away. Good job. Let's do the visual drill. Student, you'll need your card pack for this one. Teacher, you're going to hold the card pack and you'll present the student with a card. The consonant blends on which we worked yesterday in lesson number 11 are now part of the card pack. So student, you will say TR, ter. And teacher, if the student has mastered the naming of the letters, then you can just simply have them say the sound. Do about 6 to 8 different cards and then come back to me. For the auditory drill, the teacher has the cards now and they are not showing them to the student. So hold your cards close to your vest. And you say a sound. So student, your sound is grr. Can you repeat that sound? Okay, now I want you to write the symbol that goes with grr. And after you do it, underline it and say the sound again. Teacher, you can do this for 6 to 8 cards and then come back to me. Let's do the blending drill. The paper tiles are all set up on the table in advance. Thank you, teacher, for doing that. And student, you're going to tap each card and say the sounds that the letter makes, and then underline it and blend all the sounds together to say the whole word. Then the teacher will move one card and off you go again. Do the blending drill now. Let's move into the review section of the lesson. We've been talking a lot about the closed syllable. It's good to have your definition sheet on hand, so if you want to take that sheet out right now, that would be a good idea. And we're thinking about what is a closed syllable. There's 7 different syllable types in English, but only one is called the closed syllable. It's important to know about this one because it tells you how to read the vowel. Here's an example. Why is this word a closed syllable? I want you to tell your teacher the story right now that we use to remember why it's a closed syllable. And then teacher, you can discuss the definition with your student as well using that sheet that has the definition on it. Okay, now I'd like you to take this word, which we'll tap it out, wet. And what happens when there's no consonant on the end? Is this still a closed syllable? No, it's not. In a closed syllable, that consonant babysitter tells us how to read this vowel. The vowel will always be short in a closed syllable. So that means it's going to say it's apple, Eddie, itchy, olive, and up sounds. But if the consonant is not there, we've got an open syllable. It's not closed in, is it? It's just open. What will the vowel say? Can you tell your teacher that little story that we use to remember this? This one's an open syllable. There's no consonant to close it in, so the E is going to say its name. This would be we. But if I put the T back on, now it is a closed syllable. In a closed syllable, it will say its Eddie sound, so this is wet. Can you make a nonsense syllable, one that is not a syllable? I could do that if I just did this. That's not a syllable. And now I'm going to make a real syllable. What's the important part? It's the vowel, isn't it? Show your teacher that you can do that and then come back to me. Oh, but before you do that, you'll do that activity and then do the card sort and then come back to me. We've been learning how to pound syllables. Pounding syllables helps us to hear the word in parts. And when we hear a word in part, that's a beautiful thing because we can break it up into little chunks that allow us to read it easily and to spell it easily. When we're listening for a syllable, what we're really doing is we're listening for the vowel sounds. When I say pound it out, it means we're going to have our hand and we're going to hit our arm and then we'll just have our thumb pop out for the first syllable, index finger, middle finger. So we'll just keep pounding, 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 and the fingers just come out as we do that. And then if I have 3 fingers that are pounded out, I know there's 3 syllables that happened. So here's your first one. Dog. How many syllables are in that word? Well, there's 3 sounds, d, a, g, but there's only 1 vowel sound, isn't there? Ah. So that would be dog. 1. Let's try another one. Until. Can you pound that one out? How many did you get? 2? That's right. If you're having trouble with this, try putting your hand under your chin. Every time we have a syllable, our jaw drops. Watch this when I say the consonants. F, s, z. See how it just stays there? But when I do a vowel, a, e, all of a sudden my jaw's dropping. So that's what's happening when the jaw's dropping. We're counting the vowel sounds. Okay, here's next word. Inhabit. Pound it out. Inhabit. 3. How about this one? Slip. Did you guess? 1? If you did, you're right. It's that I sound in slip. In our last lesson, we introduced the concept of consonant blends. This is an example of a consonant blend. Student and teacher, can you have a quick discussion about what it is to be a consonant blend? And then come back to me. In a consonant blend, we have, obviously, consonants, right? So the first one is a k. Can you say that? And the second one is a o. Can you say that sound? In a consonant blend, we keep these sounds exactly as they are, k and o. They're very obviously k and o. But we're going to say them really fast, and when we say them fast, we blend them together. It becomes cool. It's not k-o, it's cool. Can you say that sound? Cool. Teacher, with the blends that you've put into your card pack, can you go through them right now and just do a little flashcard drill, and you'll just flash the cool in front of the student and they'll say cool. Do that now for about 6 to 8 of them and then come back to me. Let's do a little blending drill to practice the consonant blends. Teacher, you can have this with your own magnetic letter tiles on the table, or if you'd rather just do it from the screen here, that's fine too. The more multisensory we can get, the better, but that's okay. So, student, what is this word? Tap it and say it. Okay, did you say flop? I will flop down on the couch. If you did, good job. Now let's just change it by 1 letter. What's the new word? Did you get flap? If you did, good job. And let's change it by another letter. What's your new word? Did you get flag? Okay, great work. We'll change it again. What's that one? Tap it and say it. And how about this one? Did you get slap? Okay, great work. Let's try another blending drill to work on consonant blends. Can you tap and say this one? Did you get app? Let's turn app into a consonant blend. We need to have 2 consonants or 3 side by side to make a blend. So what's this new word? Did you say apt? If you did, good job. Okay, we'll change it here. What's the new word? Okay, I'm going to turn this into a word that you're going to know. What's that one? Tap it and say it. Did you get leapt? I leapt from my bed to see what was the matter. Or let's put a blend on the front and a blend on the back. Do you see the consonant blend here? Two consonants that are going to blend together and two consonants that are going to blend together. Try that one. Tap it and say it. Did you get slept? I slept through the storm. Great work. Teacher, you've got an eye on the time, and if you think that you can add some more blending drills in there, they're listed on your lesson plan. And if not, let's just carry on. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill. Student, your sound is O. Can you say that sound? Now find the tile that makes the sound O and pull it to the middle. The next sound is E. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is F. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your last sound is T. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now I want you to tap and say each sound, and then underline it and say the whole word. Did you get left? If you did, good job. Can you put that in a sentence? I left one word out. Okay, let's put your tiles back and get ready for your next word. Your next word is, your next sound is F. Can you repeat that sound? Find the tile that goes with F and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is Er. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is I. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The last sound is D. Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Remember that sometimes these will be real words and sometimes they're nonsense words. Tap each tile and say the sound and then underline it and say the whole word. Did you get frid? Yeah, not a word on its own. Part of refrigerator. Okay, put your tiles away unless, teacher, if you feel like there's time and you want to introduce another one, you can do your own magnetic letter tile drill. Otherwise, let's move on. You're going to do your isolated word list and have the student read each word on the list. And then you will have the student read the story to you. The Frog is the name of the story today. We're into the writing section now. You'll need your magnetic letter tile board again. I'm going to tell you that your word is slip. Can you repeat that word? Now, can you use slip in a sentence? What did I say? I did not slip on the ice. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in the word slip? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What is the second sound that you hear in the word slip? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the third sound that you hear in the word slip? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in the word slip? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap each tile and say the sound and then underline it and say the whole word. Good job. Put your tiles away and we're going to try a new word. Okay. Your word is melt. Can you say that word? Now put it in a sentence. Let's see. It is a hot day and the snowman may melt. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in the word melt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the second sound that you hear in melt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the third sound that you hear in the word melt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what is the last sound that you hear in the word melt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap each tile and say the sounds, underline it, and say the whole word. Great job. You can put your tiles away now. Let's get out your pencil and a lined paper, and we're going to do some finger tapping and tracing, and we're going to write some single words. Let's see. Your word is brag. So before we write it, let's tap it out. So say the sounds as you tap it. But I want you to say the sounds. And then you grab the whole word and pull it left to right and say the whole word. Now you're ready to write it down. And teacher, you can help check the work. For your second word, we're going to write clap. Now this one will do tracing. So would you like to trace on your arm, your leg, your hand? And you'll trace the letter and say the sound it makes. And then when you're finished, you'll grab the whole word and say the whole word. And then I want you to write it down. Okay. For the third word, you can decide if you would like to tap it or trace it. Your word is melt. So tap or trace right now. Grab the whole word and say the whole word and then write it down. Okay, there's only one more activity left. We have to write a few sentences. There are three to choose, three that are written on the paper. You can choose two that you like. So here they are. The frog is on a raft. The left clip is on the van. Or I flop in the loft. Choose one of those and write it down, and then use chops to check your work. And then your teacher will give your last sentence, and you can do that one. Let's do a quick review before you go. One big concept on which we're working is the closed syllable. Is this a closed syllable? Tell your teacher now. Okay, I think you probably said yes, it is a closed syllable. And what makes it a closed syllable? How many vowels are in a closed syllable? Can there ever be two vowels in a closed syllable? No, there can't. There's one vowel in a closed syllable. Can there be one babysitter? Yes, there can. And now that we're working on blends, you know that there could be more than one. It's still a closed syllable. It's very closed now, isn't it? Got two babysitters. Does it matter what happens on this end? Could there be one consonant or two consonants on this end? Yeah, there could. What if there's no babysitter on this end? Is it still a closed syllable? Yes, it is. It still says ah. So it doesn't matter what happens on the left side. We read from left to right, and it matters what happens on this end, on the end of the word. That's where the spelling rules happen in English. So that is a closed syllable. Another thing we've been working on is pounding syllables. Pound it out. So if I said fantastic, how many syllables are in fantastic? Let's pound it out. Fantastic. 3. Okay, and the last concept was the concept of the consonant blend. What is a consonant blend? Can you tell your teacher what you think it is? You guys have a quick discussion about that. And I will show you an example. In a consonant blend, we have k and o, two consonants. Each one keeps its sound. They're not changing their sound. It's just that we're saying them fast, and so they kind of blend together. So k and o, we don't say k, o, we say ko. That is a consonant blend. Great job today, everybody. This has been Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. See you next time.